Quick turnaround, yeah.
Yes. Welcome back to the 2018 Junior Roller Derby Association Championships. You are watching the Open Division stream. I'm Dathnella.
Here with Standby on the mic for the first time this morning.
Yes, but you
instead
have
of hanging out off to the side.
I was going to
like
say,
tool
you've
time.
been busy. You got here early for a Minis Expo. How was that?
That was fun. That was, if you remember years ago when Junior Derby first started, everybody was like, this tall and shorter. So it was cute. It was everybody was coaching, including the opposing skaters were coaching. We're creating situations for training purposes. But it was still cute. I think I could use that word and not offend anyone.
It's fair when you talk about the minis.
Many of the many of the minis were from Florida Junior Roller Derby, so some of them familiar, their names or their faces or their parents, one or the other.
You're from Florida, so that works. And I'm from Saskatchewan, Canada. We are here in Pennsylvania, Feasterville, to bring you all the action. So thank you so much for joining us. And right now we are getting ready for the 11 o'clock game. That's between River City Riot and California Mayhem. All right, so I don't mind going through the River City roster before we get started here. Number 10, Joe Hurt. Number 100, Lemmy By. Number 13, Havoc Creeper. Number 1987, Evelyn. Number Evelyn, rather, maybe. 23, Uptown Spunk. Number 26, Ninja Kitty. Number 27, Sam I Am. Number 35, Skull Crusher. Number 37, Little Ugly. 5150, Alligator. Number 73, Big Ugly. Number 777, High Roller, and that's your captain for the game today. Number 800, Abinator, and they're coached by Everlasting Quad Stopper, Clockwork Orangina, and Black and Blue Bell.
And the California Mayhem, and for California fans, this purple shirt is in representation of the Junior Roller Derby Association Championship Tournament logo, and not of any team that wears same. California Mayhem in the orange. 07, Killa K. 08, Killa Willa. Or perhaps Willa. 106, Maddie Hatter. 1215, Sacagakilya. 13, Relentless. We're doing selfies now. 18, the captain, Kaylor Swift. 25, Nacho Tape Boy. That's our boss. We have to pause when he comes around. 280, Mad Max. 323, Anaphylactic Shock. 329, Rosilla. 5, Tornado. 5150, Diva Destroyer. 54 is Widow. 59, Queen Relentless. And 911, the A-Train.
And the coaches for California is Carrie Kraft, a.k.a. Nacho Mama, and Nick Robinson.
I like the proliferation of nachos in derby names.
Exactly, and we're about to get underway here. Jamming for River City is Joe Hurt. And Nacho Tape, where we're just talking about nachos, on the line for California. And it's Joe Hurt out first for lead for River City.
That's right. We'll see who strikes first. Two rather sizable teams as far as the stature goes. And we saw both of them last year at Champs.
Certainly did. And it looked like River City grabbed 4 points for that pass there.
Right. So River City Riot striking first, and jam continues. Again, if you hear whistles in the background, as we do, that is the other track. 5 points.
Big apex jump there.
Yes, it was.
And meanwhile, Nacho Tape Boy getting out on his initial.
Okay, 1 minute gone in the jam.
And just to clarify, it is California in that bright orange and River City in white. So we just saw Joe Hurt skating there. He is aging out this year, and he also has a number of accolades to him. He will be skating with MRDA. He goes under Austin Anarchy. And he's with JRDA Team USA West, which will be coming up in World Cup.
Okay, 18 points to start off with the River City Riot. And we have Little Ugly versus Tornado. Number 5, Tornado, but it is Little Ugly with Lee Jam.
Little Ugly does have a twin out there too. Big Ugly. It's got to be fun to skate with your twin.
I remember that from last year, and but I haven't seen them side by side.
And they're just breaking through the California wall with a quick hit to the arms. Of course, in Derby, you can't clothesline people. It doesn't quite work that way if it's being challenged. If that link is being challenged and you're grasping in any manner, that is a multiplayer call.
15 points scored just in 55, 53, 52 seconds. Or there you go. 1 minute left in the jam, we're trying to say.
Fast lateral work there by River City.
And continuing on this power jam, there's the call off that will ice the jammer.
Our producer, Tool Time, had to write a note there saying, I imagine the star pass between twins must get a little interesting if you both look alike.
You know, it could be like a Bella Twins situation.
Yes.
if they also switched uniforms.
So right now we see River City with 42 points, California at 0. Now both these teams lost their games yesterday in order to land in this matchup. So California, having lost to, I was trying to find, amongst all these brackets here.
Number 10, Joe Hurt, called out, so Jammer switched places, and actually Tornado had already been released. So reversal of fortune, and we'll see if any points can be put on the board. Still early in the game, but my gosh, 42 points in 2 jams.
And these teams are just bumping up against one another in turn 2, 3, and 4, and that shakes loose Tornado.
Lead jam, so yes, they do control the outcome of the jam, any penalties pending. Joe Hurt back into play. And
Joe Hurt now on the initial pass, yes. But you mentioned a penalty, and that's what happened there. A cut track called on Tornado, so there's no lead, and this jam is going 2 minutes. Joe Hurt literally jumping over the down blocker there, picking up 5 points.
All right. 45 seconds remaining in the jam, and that completes another 5-point scoring pass. Just waiting on it to be official.
Joe Hurt waiting for his blockers to play some O. As we mentioned before, when you have a power jam situation, of course it's a benefit for the solo jammer out there, but it allows your blockers to give full attention to offense.
Tornado back in play.
So both teams will
Yikes.
continue on there. Tornado pushing through, putting pressure on that line.
Big block right before the whistle.
We'll see if there was any points had there. Tornado, yes, picks up a handful of points, getting the first 5 for California. So just to go back, California lost in the first game of the Open Division to the Philly Roller Derby Juniors, and that's what seeded them here or placed them here. And then River City, their game against the Mob City Misfits, that was last night. Their loss landed them here too.
And High Roller, hello, skates against Queen Relentless.
First time for both those jammers out there. Lots of spinning moves that we've been seeing today already, especially in the Open Division. Jumps and spins and acrobatics.
5 points scored. Oh, and clean apex jump, one of several we've seen already.
Queen Relentless trying to find the seams there of that
And again.
High River or River City wall.
Wow, 15 already, and 45 seconds gone in the jam. Points are scored early, often, and quickly. Good defense up front, one blocker bridging.
You can see that reforming right there in the screen. Works effectively for California. They're able to drag back high roller.
More of the same.
Dropping a bridge there. That's when you see that one skater on the track. Allowing the engagement zone to be extended. Another 5 points for River City.
Scoring 20 points there, making it 79-5. 20 points, the second highest scoring jam of the period.
Now, River City does have a number of skaters aging out this year. As we mentioned, Joe Hurt, Uptown Spunk as well. And then for California Mayhem, Relentless, which we just saw out there. And Kaylor Swift, their captain, will also be aging out.
10, Joe Hurt against 3-2-3, Anaphylactic Shock. And Anaphylactic Shock already sent to the box, so this will be a River City Power Jam. It is the initial pass, though, so that will take, and appears to be taking several seconds in itself.
Yes. California putting up quite a defense, trying to get that penalty, but looks like River City went for a more passive approach, trying to break the pack. Either way, it got their jammer out. And that was an interesting move there.
Yeah, River City with the salvo of offense.
And now we have Anaphylactic Shock back on, looking to get through on an initial.
There it is.
Joe Hurt has lead, so we'll see if that is called.
Yep. Just in time.
What an effort by Anaphylactic Shock. Coming out of the penalty box as a jammer, you really want to make sure, and I'm sorry, I'm just distracting myself, that there is a unicorn princess on the track right now. If you don't see it, look in the left-hand area of your screen. It is beautiful. Thank you, Derby. That's all I gotta say.
And there we go. Yep, just making sure. We heard multiple whistles over the audio. Just want to make sure. Little Ugly back out against Mad Hatter.
Natty Hatter, all right.
Yes, there was a Mad Hatter early on in the Minis Expo. This is Maddie Hatter.
Oh,
no
getting
relation.
your minis confused with your juniors.
Yep. And these are junior. These are big juniors.
So impressive, the athletic ability and the skill that we're seeing out there. Big clearing push.
This is a Mighty Kids meal of juniors. A track cut called on California Jammer.
Now I hope this is not too much of a repeat of some of the action we saw yesterday or even earlier today with the penalty spirals going on. But it is a fast-moving game, and if you're not used to that speed, look at this. Camera is trying to get to the action because it's moving so quickly. And the pack is a little bit, oh no, they're mainly situated there on turn 1 right now.
Jammer standing in the box.
Once again, Little Ugly going in first on his own.
And cut drawn on someone who has not, it was the Jammer. Little Ugly leaving the track.
Now we're seeing that. Already Maddie Hatter, though, is out, so looks like Little Ugly will have to sit 30 seconds unless another jammer penalty is called.
So 25 seconds.
Maddie Hatter pushing up. Oh, no, that's her blocker there, doing the hard work for her. Call that the workhorse play sometimes. Okay, blocker, you get in there and do all the work. I'm going to try and get by and score.
A lot of good work in that pack. This the second lowest scoring jam of the game in aggregate.
California holding their own with that blocking, trying to get in there and fill all the negative space, but also creating a lane for their jammer to get through. Because that's the thing. You might have those blocker teammates being there to help you, but they can also get in the way. So you need to be fitted in the right place, like a lovely Tetris game. All right, we do have a timeout being called. Thank you, Tool Time. Wait, is this an announcer timeout? He made a timeout and then pointed to us, so I like to call that every once in a while. All right.
And referees hydrating also, all in unison.
And why don't we talk about our referee crew? We didn't get a chance to introduce them yet. Admiral Mayhem, Harry Pitfall, BMD, Zeb Roar, Tim the Ref, Steel City Kitty, otherwise just known as Kitty, and Ref Metal, Cheferee.
Now the officials for the game and sight reading test: Emma Goldmangle, Maya Culprit, Professor Murder, Sarah Dactyl, Wendy Blessing, Becken Hater, all right, Accidental Doll, Demon Mistress, and Jeff, also known as Philly, or from Philly, probably both.
And we want to say a big thank you, of course, to all the officials. I need to stop laughing when I see this unicorn.
There is no official uniform for the coaches, so
I honestly didn't even realize it was a coach until, oh yeah, now I can see.
Do you think it was just a mascot we pulled out of the crowd?
I had no idea. I wasn't sure. But all right.
Kayla Swift challenges High Roller.
Kayla Swift is the captain for California and proves her veteran years there. She's also aging out this year. And she is speeding it up. Gets an apex jump, but it looks like both jammers make out with 4 points. So that's a net of 0 there, but wow, the action on that one.
Perhaps good for California's morale, as that was their first 4 points in 4 jams, following the 5-point jam 3 jams into the game.
And just speaking from personal experience, there's nothing like executing an apex jump because there's so many variables that need to be in play for you to do it in the first place, and then to land it successfully inbounds and collect those points.
3-2-3 anaphylactic shock, and number 10, Joe Hertz, who also will be playing for MRDA's Austin Anarchy. And perhaps already does, when they turn 18 versus starting on the adult league. 1 blocker each in the penalty box. And it is Joe Hertz, your lead jammer. 2 blockers for California in the box, including 54 Widow.
Oh, and just skates by the inside line there, picking up 5 points.
Did not lose much speed.
We're seeing that a lot with the junior level skaters. Big hit on a California blocker.
Closed that opening, that same opening.
Those California blockers trying to get together. Big apex jump there.
And that's about as closely as you can defend an apex jump without causing anything to happen to yourself penalty-wise. So applaud the effort. However, 2 blockers in the box for California once again.
Well, right now it looks like River City has one of the, or no, that's the California jammer. They've got trapped in their tripod. There's only 2 California blockers on the track right now, which also limits your ability to cover all those zones out there.
Joe Hurt tripped up just a bit, but not too much, as 5 points scored. And careful not to careen into the pack. There is some strategy involved, but as far as effective blocking, it's not holding too much. Now just waiting out the remaining seconds, knew he would not have made it around again. And 34 points, that's a record for the game, I should say.
We did want to mention that California Mayhem comes into this tournament the number 10 seed, and River Riot the number 4. And both of these teams have storied pasts with JRDA's championships. Both have been here or have made 3 appearances before for California. The first was in 2015. They actually got first place. In 2016, they ended 3rd. And in 2017, last year's championships, they placed 4th.
High Roller has earned lead jam over Kayla Swift. 1 Riot skater to the box, 73. Joined now by another one. I did not catch the number, but definitely 73 in the box. That would be Big Ugly, palindrome of 37.
We have a illegal contact, possible late hit call on one of the Mayhem players there.
And appears to be the pivot.
There's also 2 in the box right now for River City. And just a note on River City, they also have had 3 appearances at JRDA Champs, or rather 2. So in 2016, they were Southern Regional. They were part of the Southern Regional tournaments, placing 2nd. 2017, South and North Central Regional, they placed 4th. And then last year at championships, they placed 8th.
777 High Roller staying out for more and already scoring 5 points, not 22 seconds into the jam. Out of play blocking by number 10 on the Riot. That is Joe Hurt, who we've seen as a jammer in the past, blocking this time. Call off in the pack, and I do believe that shut out Mayhem once again.
All right, and who do we have taking the line this time? Kaylor Swift, once again the captain, will be aging out this year. Now the other thing, standby, that's it looks like
look
an
away.
Official timeout. Yeah, don't look at the unicorn on the draft.
Don't stare.
Oh, look at that! Some love between the
Yeah.
teams there, and that's what's so great about roller derby. It's not only at the junior level you see that camaraderie and that sportsman-like behavior, because these are fierce competitors, able to take that time out. But standby, I was going to mention, and now it's of course escaping me at this point. Oh yes, that the California Mayhem, they are a satellite team. So all their skaters travel to one central location. They come from all across the state. And they
That's
get
a big
together.
state.
Yes, they kind of get together for 1 8-hour practice, and that takes place over a weekend once a month.
And again, we invite you to join the conversation on Twitter using the hashtag Talk2, the number 2, Talk2JRDA, and like JRDA if you're not already at JRDA_rocks. And thank you for those of you getting in on that. I'm trying to post the final scores, hashtag final score for each of the games, because I know that's a point of consternation with some of the adult leagues out there. We build up, and then show pictures afterwards and forget to mention the score sometimes.
Yes, and we do want to mention that the great junior roller derby action continues. Join us live on twitch.tv this Monday and Tuesday. It's for the Junior Roller Derby World Cup. It'll be streamed live by WFTDA. So you can head to twitch.tv/WFTDA and watch both days for free.
And back to live action, Kaylor Swift with lead jam.
A shot right now on the pack that's starting to speed up. There we go. Now we can see our jammers neck and neck. Kaylor,
Ooh, on the inside.
Kaylor deciding not to call it. She has lead right now. Wants to make it through and decides, okay, I'm good with that.
This one is a wash.
We do have a clockwise direction call on the pivot there. That's Queen Relentless, the pivot for California. And that is the 3rd jam in a row for High Roller, according to Tool Time.
Yes, it is. 3, 4, 5 jams out of 11 skated. And a handshake between the jammers, Joe Hurt and number 25.
Nacho Tape Boy,
There
who
he
we
is.
saw at the very, very first jam.
So Nacho Tape Boy perhaps beginning his derby career on track maintenance. And lead jam it is for the Riot.
Oh, I get it now. Tape
Yeah.
Boy. Oh,
It's skater down.
that is the California Jammer. So right now the track is just making some room for the coach. The officials taking a second there.
Skaters return to their bench. I know it's you wanna check on them, but you can't render any helpful service other than moral support. So best to clear the area, give them room.
And River City is from San Antonio, Texas. I know I didn't mention that off the top. Sometimes people like to know as well where these teams are from. Standby, have you seen any of these teams skate?
I saw both of them. I have not, not to my recollection, have seen them at home, but I have seen them at last JRDA championships. Both of them part of the Open Division.
Yeah, they were both there.
What about Mayhem?
I believe we saw Mayhem at Spring Break Swarm.
You saw them at Spring Break Swarm. I had to miss the last two.
So you is Tool Time,
Tool
who
Time.
is also joining us.
Tool Time saw yeah.
The silent voice.
Team TNT, baby.
Yeah, we are
And
skaters up. That's good to hear, and you hear the applause.
skaters up and skating off the track.
So we'll sit out at least the next 3 jams because the jam called off on his behalf, I do believe, as an official timeout called.
Seems to need some space. Is just taking some time over there. So that'll put Kaylor Swift back on the jam line for California. And Joe Hurd, who had just been jamming for River City, is back out there with a star. Now, the winner of this game, a reminder, will go on to play again today. They have a second game, and that will be at 5 o'clock against the Sirens of Savannah.
And Sirens, that's their first time here as well. Being a North Florida-based announcer, I've seen the Sirens grow in the last 2 seasons and develop, yes, into a championship-level team.
Joe Hurd out there with the lead. And Sirens of Savannah obviously having won their first game yesterday. That was against Quad City. So that's what seeded them and placed them into that spot.
And more sportsmanship, as a lot of these skaters know each other. They play on the special teams, such as in these cases, Team USA West. They've played in mashups.
Yes.
They've played in championships before. There's not that personal tension that you see in some other sports, some adult sports.
High roller making a lane for himself on the inside. Kilowilla.
Except a back block was called.
Oh, it was. This is why we have multiple eyes on things, because
Well, he waited until almost reaching the penalty box to exit the track.
that would do it.
Now joined by the pivot. And one California blocker also, 9-11 for California, the A-Train.
And we have,
Killa with lead jam.
yes.
And look at the pack.
Oh, starting to speed up, trying to save those points.
Oh, and Killer actually went for one of the blockers too, but the jammer came out, and we'll see the result.
Well, definitely 4 points for California on that one.
All right.
Still waiting to see. Oh, and that is a big fistful of 0 for River City.
163-17. That is the first and only time the California Mayhem has outscored the River City Riot on a jam-by-jam basis.
Once again, the inside lane. Oh, never mind. California closing that door off there for Joe Hurd. Thought he had a full rundown, although Kaylor Swift getting knocked out and dragged back. The jam called.
Official timeout called. So
Oh, that would explain it. Wasn't sure what happened there. Oh. Were we missing a star? That was the 3rd jam in a row for Kaylor Swift.
yeah, and we identified jammers. Well, one blocker in the box, and that is Kaylor Swift. So the captain, whatever happened, the captain being sent to the penalty box.
Yes, so on an interference, which is basically delay of gameplay, anything like that, the captain will sit the penalty.
777 high roller backouts.
We'll have to review the footage after for that. Meanwhile, high roller getting lead. Maddie Hatter out with a star for California.
And Maddie threw it, no. Caught by the pivot, almost had it on the inside. Stayed in bounds.
Those skaters just coming in so close behind those blockers. You can see it beautifully on camera right now.
Maddie Hatter correcting, and there's an apex jump.
Even with an attempted block by number 8 there from California.
Oh, and another almost in the straightaway, and that's a tough one to pull off, and you saw the effect.
Exactly, yeah. You apexing on the turn. Wow. Okay, acrobatics. Here we go.
California Mayhem are all over. Wow, all right.
We're seeing California trying to make some openings for their jammer.
Defense is rocking here, and that is the jam.
There was a lot that happened in that last jam there, standby. We saw some effective trying to figure out where they could make spaces.
Right.
That's the most difficult part, is that you have to switch back and forth.
20 points scored nonetheless, but definitely hard-earned points at that. 280 for California Mayhem in action. Mad Max. First time seeing Mad Max jam in about 7 jams.
Certainly, and Joe Hurt has been out there a number of times. Right now we're seeing both jammers getting hit out at one point. And Joe Dirt is first out. Looks like California is trying to figure out the best way to help their teammate. And that is being defense there at the back of the pack.
Tight jammer rotation, as you no doubt have noticed yourself. 5 points scored.
And that was quite the little slide there by Mad Max. Now out on the initial pass. Up there's that straightaway apex jump.
And more points scored. 4 on that one, makes 9.
I can barely jump in skates, let alone on a turn.
I can barely jump in shoes.
Okay, that I can do. I'm sure there's a trampoline somewhere nearby that we can take out, jump around, stretch our legs here.
Jump, jump, up, and get down.
All right, we have just over 5 minutes left of the first half. Seeing a tight start to the jam line there for both blocker lines. Yep, some hard hitting. Kaylor Swift once again out with a star, finding that inside line. They're chasing down. Kaylor actually has lead.
Yep, Kaylor Swift with lead jam as the other one. What do you Canadians call no pass, no penalty now?
I don't know if it's a Canadian thing. I believe
it hasn't reached the South yet.
Oh, okay, that's fair. No earned pass.
No earned pass. I'm gonna write that down. But I get it. I get the term.
You can understand the language being used there, because you are physically passing someone. You just didn't earn it. So they got knocked down, and you decided instead of going back and trying to get the point legal or get the pass legally, you're just going to go right on by.
4-3 on that one, 196-20 with 4 minutes to go, roughly.
We have number 5150, Diva Destroyer, out for the first time here in California.
California changing it up a bit. As soon as I said the jammer rotations were tight and twite, and Joe Hurt.
That seems to be the way things go when we like to announce things and then not prove us wrong. And for the record, they definitely can't hear us down there, so.
See a flamingo in the background. That's representative of Tampa Junior Roller Derby, who we just saw.
Flamingos, unicorns, oh my. Okay, and Diva Destroyer still trying to work her way up from the back of the pack there. Meanwhile, her blockers doing a decent job holding back Joe Hurt, slowing the jammers down.
Oh!
Joe Hurt executing a bit of a slowdown in play. Speed changes are so effective for any jammer and even blockers in creating a bit of a different dynamic.
Ooh. And a cut on the pivot who had the star.
So that will be the jammer going to the box. That's Killa.
I was looking for a call on Joe Hurt, but no, was able to correct and complete the pass. Just from our vantage point.
I'm just gonna let the action speak for itself right now.
20 points scored. And number 08 for the California Mayhem, Killa with the star, standing in the box.
We do have an failure to reform call. That was actually on the River City skater that was in the box. And then there was another California skater sent. So at the start of the next jam, we'll have 3 blockers apiece and a jammer apiece.
This jam is over after 25 points scored. It will be under 2 minutes to go when we start the next jam, and you know what that means. So
if anybody is looking for ways to improve their apex jumps, there's nothing like going through the footage, and especially this whole tournament. We're not even halfway through, and the number of apex jumps that we've seen here. So have a look through the game footage and find those pieces and find your own way of doing that skill, because it's going to crop up more and more and more. We're seeing it here, the junior level, and seniors are starting to take it too.
Havoc Creeper, lead jam and first jam, I believe, for River City Riot in the jammer position.
Kaylor Swift out again with a star. Takes a bit of a hit there on turn 3.
Jam is called, and probably actually for the good of Kaylor Swift there. Not on her behalf, but good that the jam was called because she was already holding her face.
I was just wondering. I wasn't sure if that was the case. So for those at home watching, if you're not aware, if a skater is injured and then the play is called because of the injury, that skater is not allowed to return to the track for at least 3 jams. And that can always depend on the extent of the injuries as well. All right, action back underway. That was fairly quick turnaround there. Abby Nader, we know for River City, is jamming. And number 5'9" there, Queen Relentless. We have seen her at least once or twice out before with the star this jam.
Yeah, once before in jam number 4. So we'll see if this strategy pays off as far as changing up the jammer rotation. And right now, nothing to lose by doing so. As the initial pass completed, but Queen Relentless is scoring, right? Or just earned lead? Well, referee not saying no. Referee saying no.
All right, well, we got to go with the ref's call on that.
Star on the screen, however, no hand in the sky, but both initials completed as far as I remember. Lead jam call.
There we go. It is assessed to Queen. And she's able to cut through those towering blockers.
Star pass to the pivot.
That's for California. Oh, wait. California star passed when they had lead?
Apparently so.
Okay.
So 38 seconds to go in the jam.
And they will have to skate it out if, in fact...
Into the wall.
Whoa. Okay, everyone's okay. We see smiles and head nods there. Yes, this jam is definitely going the full 2.
That wall's about 12 feet off the line. So,
and a star pass as well.
They just didn't want to use the toe stops and waited a little too late to stop there.
Yeah, star pass as well for River City.
Apex hop back into position, and another one by the jammer.
Wow, a little bit of confusion that jam there. And we're already at the half. Wow, the last 5 minutes always go so fast. Okay, so stand by. We have a lot to go through here. What does your sheet say so far?
Well, points scored in most every jam for the River City Riot except for 1 or 2, and we'll confirm that also with Tool Time keeping records. But the let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 double-digit jams by the Riot. Kind of tells the tale score-wise, but as far as pack-wise, defense-wise, there's a lot for the book of wins, the kind of information that does not show up on the scoreboard, but good coaching moments, good moments, as you mentioned, going back to look at the footage. Plenty of that we're seeing here in this game.
Stand by, you said it perfectly. That's exactly what this is, a big growth moment for California Mayhem. Remember, they came in seeded 9th, River City seeded 4th, and so we have a lot more action coming up in the second half, and that's always fun to see how the teams go back, take a moment, maybe adapt to some play, and bring back a whole new energy for the second half. So stick around. We will be right back. I've enjoyed this call so far. I'm Deathnella.
And I'm Standby.
We'll be right back.
Welcome back to hashtag JRDA Champs. And we haven't seen excitement like this since back in your hometown when Bret Hart defeated Ric Flair back in 1992.
Yes. I was waiting for those wrestling terms. That's awesome. Tool Time was telling me that you are a big wrestling fan, so that makes me very happy.
Wrestling and roller derby. You know, me, Vince Hannity, you, apparently, now we find out.
Yes. There's so many of us.
It's still tied together despite the skaters kind of looking back on that, wondering why. But
there's always something that can be said about the showmanship that happens in wrestling, and that needs to. There is a place for it in derby. Doesn't have to be the same.
No.
But there is always a place for showmanship and entertainment, because that's why we're here. We have a lot of fun playing derby. We're seeing the incredible athleticism out there from the junior levels all the way through senior, and even some of the minis come out with some impressive moves. I know earlier today you were out there watching the minis. So stand by. Let's walk everybody through the first half again before we get started in the second. It's River City against California Mayhem.
And no rumor and innuendo here, but the unofficial penalties, Mayhem and River City kind of tied there as far as jammer penalties. Joe Hurt with 3. Alligator, one of the blockers for River City Riot with 5. The rest
so
with
we'll need to watch
3, 2, 1, or 0. Yeah. Nacho Tape Boy for California Mayhem with 2. Widow with 4, and the rest with only 1 or 2. So fairly clean game despite all the blocking action going on.
It does seem that a lot of these penalties.
A Tatanka fan on the other side, so he's getting into it too.
It does seem that a lot of these penalties, though, standby, are happening back to back to back, and so when you compound them, then you're always out there with maybe 3 blockers, maybe 2. And for those at home who are not as familiar with the way the points are scored, anytime you have a blocker in the penalty box, yes, it limits the number of defensive or offensive players you have, but it also gives you an extra point. As soon as you pass the first opponent's hips, you collect the points for those sitting in the box as well.
That's right, Deathnella, and we're set to go, I think. 4-4 was the outcome of the previous jam, so it was a wash, which made it the most competitive jam that I think I have seen. There was a 3-4 in favor of River City Riot about 2/3 in.
This is my first time calling with Standby, and I really appreciate just the level of interest and ability you have with your stats keeping.
Interesting what we know about Alligator. Alligator jamming for River City against Kayla Swift now. And lead jam Allie.
Alligator getting quite low as she comes around the track. And Kayla Swift is out.
And textbook, was it?
It appears to be so.
Yep.
5 points for River City on that.
Yeah, it was a 5-point pass, yes.
And 0 for California there. So Standby saying it's textbook in that the ideal situation is you collect your points and you stop the other team from getting theirs.
That's right.
With the advantage of lead.
There's a coaching term for that some people say is unsuitable for broadcast. You know what that is. But Queen Relentless against High Roller now.
High Roller having jammed quite a bit in the first half. Some back-to-back-to-back.
And Queen with lead. And I believe that's the second time
And
Queen has earned lead.
look how fast they're going. The Jammers now we're coming up on turn 3.
Oh!
Oh, and they both get by? Do they both get by with points?
They both went in the same opening, too. That's the thing.
Look at that. River City with none. They did not collect any points there. California's jam referee, I think, trying to figure out, or do we have that yet?
The scoreboard operator doesn't have it. I know that. It stands 0-0. That's as close as it gets.
Well, looks like the officials, though, are calling for that. That's the non-skating officials.
A track cut called on the California Jammer.
Ah, that may have determined whether or not there were points scored, of course. And that will give River City a power start.
So we'll see who River City Riot calls to the track. Several high-scoring jammers. And I'll tell you about them as they come up. Oh, High Roller. High Roller in turn number 4. Looking to get a running start. High Roller earned 68 points in the last period.
It's okay. I did not see High Roller either. And I sort of have
our monitors hiding High Roller from our vantage point.
have a pretty clear view down the track now. Also a clear view of someone riding a unicorn. So, see, this is where I'm saying there's some elements of wrestling. Come on.
Yeah. New Day rocks.
Yeah. And official timeout will likely wrap up shortly.
So High Roller, yes, stepped up to the line instead of getting the running start, but still takes the inside and apex jump on the initial pass.
Wow, stand by. The pack tried to speed things up. They're still now in turn 2. Are they going to try to get out? And High Roller using one of his skaters as a screen there pretty effectively to cut through that line.
Jammer is standing, you heard?
Kaylor Swift providing some very effective single blocking there up against High Roller. Slowed him down. It did cost her a trip to the penalty box. I did not see the call on that one.
Queen back in, and that sort of warrants the call off. 14 points scored. That's the high scoring jam of the period. 244-24.
So sometimes speeding up that pack standby, smart idea if you're trying to save your points. Doesn't always work if you get stuck in a turn rather. Turns are so advantageous for jammers because they allow for the quick cuts across on the apexes. Or in this case, we've been seeing some straightaway apex jumps as well, or not apex jumps, and I don't know, straightaway jumps,
yeah,
whatever you want to call them.
Incredibly difficult compared to the other kind. Killawilla, we
have on the
confirmed?
track for California, and Evelyn for River City.
1987, I believe, Evelyn first jamming, yes.
Oh, we have a track cut. Now I'm just making up words. Track cut assessed to Killawilla.
Second jammer penalty for the California Mayhem in this period. Oh, stayed in bounds, but then that big block, perhaps a little too big, as jam is called.
Although skater is,
and it was called immediately. There was no hesitation on the referee's part.
There may have, I don't want to speculate, but anytime there's even a possible concern of head injury involvement at all, they will stop that jam.
Fortunately, wearing a face mask, but you know, the head still hit the floor.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. I don't really want to speculate because it could very much just get a little knocked.
Shock to the system.
Around. Doesn't look like the penalties. Ref crew's trying to figure out what's going on, chatting with the coaches.
I think we have a new jammer on the track. Can't see the number.
Looks to
Looking
be
for the name.
Abinator,
Is
number
it? All right.
800.
River City Riot now, the ones changing things up. And here it is, a power start.
Abinator getting knocked out there by, just can't see the number, or number 25. Nacho Tape Boy, who we've also seen jam this game.
And one-on-one blocking
Wow.
up front.
Taylor Swift.
Yes,
Although once,
a little too far with that.
yeah, apparently a high block.
Jammers tag out, literally tag out, as Tornado returns to play. Or blockers, rather.
Nacho Tape Boy out there with 911, the A-Train.
And California Jammer going to the penalty box and
The
concerned
A-Train,
about whether or not that was her.
the A-Train thinking that he got the knockout on the jammer, did not.
Taylor Swift will be entering the picture shortly.
And big hit there by Nacho Tape Boy, but we have a clockwise call that'll send him to the penalty box. Taylor Swift doing a little blocker apex jump to get around. Abinator decides it's time to call the jam.
With the encouragement of the coach there, the gigantic gesture. But yes, good timing, 2:52.
Sometimes
24.
though, it's hard because when you're out there now, this venue, maybe given the time of day, it's not as loud as some of them have been, but it can get so loud out there on the track, and you're in your own head, and you're wearing your own little helmet in your own world, and it's hard to hear.
And you know, I'm glad you mentioned that because whoa! Lead jam Joe Hertz rather. And I saw it had to be a record number of insubordination calls yesterday, and that at this level of derby can only speak to just not hearing the call.
Yes, I saw that too. A number of skaters not exiting the track appropriately either. So haven't seen any this game. I don't want to jinx it,
Yeah.
as I seem to have a knack of doing.
Jammer penalty on Joe Hurt, and I'm just going to guess that was a low block in turn one.
And Maddie Hatter now going on the track. This is her initial, coming up on a scoring trip through the pack. And the pack speeding up. But the jam will run a full 2 minutes.
Only 50 seconds into the jam, too. And you hear the Duval in the background as the female track set to reach action again.
Maddie Hatter out with 5 points. Looking ready to score again, trying to gets by on the inside, gets knocked out by 3-5 there. Skull Crusher.
Oh, and Joe Hurt able to take that same straightaway and spin on one skate to remain inbounds. Good track awareness.
And using a single foot transition, get around there.
And not even an apex attempt. There was not room, as that actually is a track cut or a back. No, a low block. A low block. Thank you. Tool time. A low block before the jump was attempted.
And so that will give California a power start on the next one. And stand by, let us know about the scoring there for California.
Yeah.
Once it's assessed.
14-10. 10 points for the California Mayhem. And that is, by my memory, the high-scoring jam for California. 14-10, though, net 4 for the River City Riot. So, and Ghost Blocker on the referee in the infield. He follows us everywhere.
All right, and we have an official review being called. Looks to be called by the River City Riot.
As far as jams that could have been much more damaging, yes, that 10-point jam for California did wash out the some of the 14 points scored by the River City Riot there, as opposed to jam number 3, which was 14-0.
And we know we're talking lots of numbers, but what we're seeing out there, stand by, I am very impressed by both these teams. Just the fearlessness in those jumps, the strategy. We're seeing California trying to stop that breaking apart that we saw quite a bit in the first half. And of course,
Right.
that was aided by the penalty box rotation, the swapping in and out and losing skaters from both teams to some degree.
And every bit of experience here, especially at the championship level, will we will see these two teams again, and even if they don't play again until next champs. But some of these wins by the California Mayhem, the 2 wins quite substantial, both with the Lone Star Chaos and San Antonio, beating San Antonio Sugar Skulls 334-148, and the Lone Star Chaos in that same weekend in January 314-141.
So we know these teams are both capable, and there's a reason why they're at this tournament, why they're at the championship level. It's just been an incredible ride so far, and I'm really glad that you mentioned those insubordinations, though, because as I said before, it'll be important for all the teams to go back, review the video, and see where they made those mistakes. Those insubs add on an extra penalty.
Yeah, that's a twofer, and it's almost at this level. It's practically never an intentional insubordination.
Yes.
Like, no, we're not at that level anymore. So that's the thing, and that's an easy problem to correct.
All right, we have Nacho Tape Boy out for California. Been jamming here and there throughout the game. A cut track penalty assessed to one of the River City blockers. That's a Lemmy by.
2 blockers in the box, jammer standing and a blocker standing.
Nacho Tape Boy trying to get out.
And another blocker coming to the penalty box as one comes out. So penalty trouble for the River City Riot, and it's showing in the lead jam call for California.
Nacho Tape Boy just needs to get by. Is that Joe Hurd out there? It is.
Yep.
Being a blocking jammer, because of course there's not many blockers out there right now for River City.
So yeah, sticking to defense. If you want to keep the score differential as it is, then it's staying back, and again 2 blocks in a matter of a second and a half.
All right, that
Good
gives
control.
Nacho Tape Boy 5 points. Joe Hurd as well thought he could block his way through past the California wall, and didn't quite work.
Good 3-on-1 up front, almost ground to a halt, but through goes Joe Hurt.
And now he's on his initial pass. Did burn time, though, for his teammates to get back. He will be shut out. Is that a first that he has not collected points while jamming? Stand by.
In this period, yes. And previously, it's possible. It's possible. I think so.
So Nacho Tape Boy and Joe Hurd, they opened the bout, facing off one another. That's got to feel good for Nacho Tape Boy. And a timeout being called by River City, which is a really good time to remind everybody about what's coming up. So first of all, you are watching the 2018 Junior Roller Derby Association Championships live all weekend on WFTDA.tv. So we have 2 tracks of action. This is the open division you're watching right now. Female division happening pretty much at the same time. We're just switching off starting hours. It's all hosted by the JRDA and Philly Roller Derby. The action will continue Monday and Tuesday, though. Junior Roller Derby World Cup. It's streaming live by WFTDA. You can head to twitch.tv/WFTDA and watch both days for free.
Oh, that's going to be exciting on Twitch. The round robin, if you haven't seen a round robin, where everybody plays everybody, just almost almost total nonstop action, if you will. It's going to be a sight to see, and you will see every matchup in a matter of 30 minutes for the 30-minute bites.
And we have tool time here to give us the
want the mic?
lowdown.
Oh, well, I can read you, Henry. Gray was challenging the low block on the jammer. Wanted the call removed, and the call stands for the low block. And they lose their official review challenge. In stereo, we're available.
Yes, I know. I like that.
Queen versus Skull Crusher. Well,
Is this the first time out for Skull Crusher?
I think it may be. And Skull Crusher, actually, connection to the team. Skull Crusher is High Roller's cousin.
Yeah, so we got the twins as well on River City. So family connections there.
And jammer hustle by both. Lead jam Skull Crusher, but you see you don't see, but anyway, they're about 8 feet away from each other, and there's the call off.
Yeah, that was a chase down by Alligator there. Or rather.
And a score update from the previous jam, 7-point score by California Mayhem, but that was only the second time that they have outscored River City Riot in this game in a jam.
Both teams have used a timeout. If you're wondering how I know that, if you look on your screen, underneath both of the names, there are 3 bars that indicates the 3 timeouts. And then the dot that California still has is an official review.
And number 18, Kaylor Swift now against Big Ugly.
Big Ugly being one of the twins we mentioned. Little Ugly is his twin brother.
And is this Big's first? First jam I remember, unless I got him mixed up as jammer.
Remember, whoever wins this game has to play again today in a matter of hours. So spreading out some of the jams could be a possible reflection of conserving energy. Big Ugly, though, sent to the penalty box. So Kaylor Swift will be out there for a while. Full 2-minute jam. Still have a minute left.
Kaylor Swift, offense kind of passive at this point. Big Ugly standing.
Deciding instead to goat one of the River City skaters, and a cut track penalty assessed to a blocker.
And the Big Ugly returns.
Now Kaylor saying, team trying to defend there, but Big Ugly gets out.
That's a 5-point pass, picking up where he left off.
Kaylor Swift trying to figure out a way to slow things down.
And another 5-point pass. Kaylor Swift scoring 5 previously. Now 10 seconds to go in the jam, and probably, let's see, one-on-one blocking. In the spins through that one, and there's another. Didn't quite get the other one, but man, oh man, that was a finish.
Saying yes in agreement to that big spin that we just saw there stand by.
11-9, net 2 and only 2 for River City. So another competitive jam. Much more competitive jam than perhaps some we've seen.
That was Big Ugly.
It was. Thank you. That was the first appearance by Big Ugly wearing the star in this game, and you saw the 11-9 results. 51-50, Diva Destroyer.
Getting a bit of a tap down on the jam line. Both jammers still trying to work through. We have Abinator out for River City. And the California line taking her back.
This is one of those equally offensive and defensive kind of games.
Yes.
Lots of excellent blocking in this game, but also excellent jamming too. So a good combination. It's not just like a runaway Aaron Jackson power jam. It's much more balanced, and that's what keeps it exciting to watch. And really educational for all the skaters. They will take something away from this game despite the score.
Yes, some very effective moments. Now, despite the fact that lead has not been assessed to anyone, Abinader decided to take her helmet cover off, her star cover off, so that means she's ineligible for lead. California could still get it. Oh no, never mind, there was a star pass to Nacho Tape Boy. So this will go a full 2 minutes.
And Nacho threw on the initial one blocker each in the box. Little Ugly serving a little more time. Will return to play first. Another blocker headed out for California.
And so this will be a race, and it looks like the pack is pretty split up. There's no strong walls right now. All individual skaters trying to speed things up.
4-4 so far in this jam. And jammers meet up briefly in the turn.
Yeah, Nacho Tape Boy using some apex jumps and a quick juke around to get through. Does so before the jam ends. Picks up 4 points for that.
Standout jam for Nacho Tape Boy, especially in this period. 8, however, 7 points for the opposition. 8-7, net 1 for California.
So what we just saw there was a no lead jam because of the fact that those helmet covers came off. So if you're new and you're just tuning in and getting used to the sport of roller derby, lead can be lost not only with a trip to the penalty box, but by taking off the star. And of course that also can render you ineligible depending when it's done.
13, Havoc Creeper against Kilowilla. And this is the first time we've seen Havoc Creeper jam in this period. We saw her at the end of the first one.
And she's been out on many blocking lines for River City. The California wall proving to be fierce, and the pack moving fast backwards.
Oh, and a big block in the infield, but able to recover, and that is a no-earned pass. One Mayhem blocker in the box, and jam concludes. Under 13 minutes to go in the game, 5 points for River City.
There was a lot going on there, standby. Right at the end, just some incredible track awareness by some of the blockers who were almost knocked out. It was almost a Matrix moment where it was like time slow down, back bend, and they managed to stay inbound and on the track. We have Queen Relentless and Little Ugly now. That's Big Ugly's twin.
37, whereas brother is 73. Lead jam, Little Ugly. Queen threw on the initial pass, about a half lap behind. Now third of a lap, and there's a scoring pass. It will not be called off in time, or will it? Oh man, that's close.
See, oh, looks to be a fist in the air for California.
Wow, that is as close as you could get. Another millisecond would have been 1 point.
Little Ugly did not have to slow down to collect those points either. When you have two blockers out there, the track suddenly has a lot more room to it. It can, it always depends. Sometimes you can end up being held up for a long time on just two blockers.
High roller, double hop, lead jam, 4 seconds taken off the clock.
Oh, but Taylor Swift rather, powering through.
Shaking it off.
Doesn't seem fazed by it at all. Just some impressive work by the captain, Kaylor. She is aging out this year. And the showing that she has put out for this game. By far, one of the skaters taking the line the most for California Mayhem.
3-jam, 13-point rally for the River City Riots of late. as High Roller stays out against Anaphylactic Shock. And lead jam, High Roller. 2 blockers now in the penalty box, 1 about to return for California. And the pivot headed to the box. As Anaphylactic Shock looking for an opening, but it is literally 4-on-1 and has been for at least 3/4 of a lap. As High Roller scores 5 points, adding to 5 previously. That time did not leave the ground, did not even change speed on that 5-point pass.
It looks like California is in a bit of trouble there. Having the 2 blockers, third trying to join. Of course, that point having already been collected. And Anaphylactic Shock just pushing on that River City wall. Showing her athleticism.
California electing to play defense and await the approaching jammer, and it actually worked. Multiplayer block, however.
Yeah, there was some offense there provided by Nacho Tape Boy.
Big drop on one of the California blockers holding his arm. But oh! Apex blocked. And it was blocked to the front by my vantage points. Nobody going to the box, so it was clean. Oh, man.
That was quite a lot of action there.
And 29 points to show for it, I'll say. But not for lack of defense.
And we have.
And that was exclusive defense. There was no offense being played. That was all defense. Hard-earned 29 points.
And it looks like Queen Relentless is back for vengeance. She picks up lead quickly at the start of that jam. And Skull Crusher still working her way through the initial pass. It's very easy to spot Mayhem skaters, though, when they're in the pack, that bright orange. Gets through, passes by that foremost blocker, and picks up 4 points.
1 blocker each in the box.
Looks like Queen Relentless is just going to keep trying to score as much as she can. Almost pulling off the star helmet cover. Grabs 2 points.
So if this stands 4-4, no, 7-4, 7-4. Net 3 for River City, 333-62 with under 7 minutes to go.
All right, so Tool Time making a really good point. So Kaylor Swift, the captain for California Mayhem in the open division, also skates for Angel City in the female division. Thank you, Tool Time. It's really great to have that information. And of course, yesterday we also heard from some folks telling us about skaters that skate in different teams on Twitter. The hashtag is Talk2JRDA.
Right.
Speaking of Kaylor Swift, she is with lead right now.
Yeah, much similar, as we mentioned before, California Mayhem being a super team, a super group, coming from all different teams, and definitely a force in the open division last year, we remember seeing, and good to see them back, that the tradition continues despite skaters aging out.
It just speaks to the athleticism to have to play the number of games dedicated to one division, let alone 2.
Alligator scoring 4 points and leaving the track to adjust gear, and now back into play. Never was handed a penalty.
Oh, and Alligator getting by 911, the A train.
Oh, swing and it was not a miss, it was a connection, but Kaylor Swift able to, I'll say it again, shake it off.
Oh, I get your puns. I like it. I just
Yeah.
started dancing when he said that. That makes sense.
8-4.
So California able to put on some more points as we head into the last 5 minutes of this bout. A reminder, California, ma'am, came into this tournament, number 10 seed, River City Riot at number 4.
40 of the 68 points were scored in this period.
We have
for
High
California.
Roller quickly using that turn 1 apex to get by. Seems to be a signature move right now.
Blast through the middle.
Both teams at full strength, no one in the penalty box.
Attempts the same, and a California blocker looking for a track cut, no call.
Big hit by number 280, Mad Max. They're sort of lost in the pack mess, as I like to call it, but it definitely rocked High Roller.
Maddie Hatter completes the initial, but jam is called. One California blocker in the penalty box, that is
And that's
280 Mad Max, yes.
Yeah, 4 points for River City there. There was no earned pass. Could have gotten 5. You can get that extra point. And now I'm just stabbing standby with my pen here.
Make that point. Make that point.
Make
Deb.
that point. I basically what I was going to say is you can get that 5th point by lapping the opposing jammer.
Point
Oh.
taken. Lead jam, Big Ugly.
Point taken. Lots of fancy toe stop work on the outside line there to get by. Queen Relentless speeding around turn 2, coming up turn 3. Cutting through those blocker arms. That'll pick up a couple points. Looks like 4. Or is that 3? I'm not going to guess anymore.
3-2, net 1 for California.
That makes sense, and I'm seeing hands in the air in celebration by Queen Relentless. Stealing points in that situation there when you
Yes.
don't have lead and you're still able to squeak by.
Under 3 minutes to go as Joe Hurt back out against Kaylor Swift.
Able to get by the California wall, and same with Kaylor, skating on by her teammates.
Haven't seen Joe Hurt in a bit. At least jamming. 4 points scored. And 4 points scored.
And now they're going around, both approaching the pack at the same time.
Was that call off in time?
Yes, it was. River City picks up 1 point. And this will be a very demanding day for all the skaters involved. The team that loses this game goes on to play again, or rather the team that wins. Yes, the team that wins will go on to play again today at 5 o'clock against the Sirens of Savannah.
And that's not going to be a cakewalk for anybody. Sirens, a strong team. High Roller lead jam over Nacho Tape Boy.
Nacho Tape Boy showing his strength as a jammer, but also making very effective blocking moves that I've seen throughout the game.
And Nacho left with one blocker, just jumps past.
And Nacho completes the apex, but gets a back block call, so is sent to the penalty box.
That was a quick call. I totally missed the call. But I guess that was just me.
And it's one of the things.
Full
This
time
game,
looking at me. Yep.
yeah, this game is moving so quickly. Just the speed of the skaters, the speed of the refs as well.
No earned pass on that last pass.
Picks up 4 points there. California set up in turn 3, which Joe Hurt uses to shorten the distance.
30 seconds roughly on the clock. Called a timeout as soon as he called off the jam. He put his made the tee.
And that will mean another jam for sure. And a power start for River City because we do have Nacho Tapoy standing now in the penalty box. So just as he started the bout as jammer, he shall end it.
19 points by High Roller, the second highest scoring jam of the period. 29, the record. That was 6 jams ago by same skater. So it appears to be 27 seconds officially to go. The next jam can go a full 2 minutes depending on what the lead jammer would like to do. And will have really no consequence, but still, as we said, good experience and fun to watch nonetheless. And I've said that about Derby for the last 12 seasons I've been involved. Some of these games, if you just hide the scoreboard, forget about the score, awesome game. But somebody has to win, and River City Riot putting up the most points on the board.
And a very quick start. Oh, some fancy footwork there by Joe Hurt. That'll cost him a cut track, though.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if that was properly in bounds. Apparently it wasn't. He's smiling and shaking his head, though, as he sits in the penalty box. And Nacho Tapoy doing some fancy footwork to get around, feeling good about his efforts. And he does have lead. Even though you start in the penalty box, it does not make you ineligible.
That's right, it does happen, and 3 blockers ready. Yay! Whoa!
Ooh. Good little spin maneuver there.
Excellent timing.
Nacho Tapoy able to use all of his own blockers as a screen. A big hit. Is that Big Ugly? I believe it is. Big Ugly getting the call to the penalty box.
And Joe Hurt is out of the game.
So this game will end with a power jam for Nacho Tapoy as long as he wants it to run.
Little Ugly in the penalty box.
Wow, just the way he curved his spine there.
Oh,
Gets
man.
by. I've heard it called a number of things, that ability to just shape your body like an amoeba or an eel. There's so many ways, and that's exactly what we're seeing. Nacho Tapoy, Big Ugly right behind him. The pack speeding up like crazy.
That'll do. As Jammer collapses at the bench and receives congratulations for a hard-earned jam and 5 more points hard-earned by the California Mayhem. We can see it from our vantage point. Sheer exhaustion, but also congratulations on ending this game on a high note.
The California team giving each other high fives. Of course, River City also feeling good about that strong showing. And what a way to end the bout. Of course, there's always a little bit of drama in Derby, and that's exactly what happened. Joe Dirt getting that, I guess, 7th penalty and having to sit out while the game ends. That's
right. Couldn't have happened at a better time for Joe Hurt because it could have really messed with the rotation there if it had happened any sooner.
And now that means the winner of this game, which is the River City Riots, they will play again 5 o'clock Eastern, right here, right where you're watching, Open Division, the Sirens of Savannah. Now that means as well that California will go on to play for 9th place tomorrow at 9 o'clock, and they are facing off against Quad City, who were just in the last game.
Nice.
So stand by. We had some really great moments. An unofficial final right now, River City 373, California 80. But just an incredible display of athleticism out there.
Yes, it was. Hide the scoreboard and watch this game again. Lots for both of these teams to go back and check on, but also for their future opponents to look at. It just Junior Roller Derby continues to amaze in the open division.
Definitely, and there's so much more action coming up. At 1 o'clock, the next game is DCM against Mob City, so you want to stay tuned for that. And let us know what you're thinking as you're watching. The hashtag on Twitter is Talk2JRDA. That's talk, the number 2, JRDA. I'm Deathnella.
And I'm Standby.
And you're watching the 2018 JRDA Championships. We'll be back soon.